Yo,
Yo, how's it going?
good you?
Good, good.
Oh,
Um,
well, I wonder what happened last week with the switching back and forth.
yeah, I think it's because I wasn't on gallery view. So I
Okay.
think maybe that's why. But hey, I you switched around your office.
Yeah, I took your advice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you like it or
Eh, it feels more officey, like it feels more professional.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did your students even notice?
No, because it doesn't concern them. They don't care.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
It
You?
looks clean though.
That's good.
No, like it looks like a clean back like not like clean as in like but like a clean background. Like it's very simple, it's not distracting.
Yeah, so I think I'm thinking as I print more photos, this will become my photo wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll put some more over there too, so that and I don't know. I watched a video yesterday. I don't know if you read my blog post from yesterday about, but anyway, there's a video on YouTube by a photographer I follow. He's from the UK, and every year he puts together this like book. And so he talked about making a zine and his process for making the zine. And I was like, well, I don't have enough to do, so maybe I'll do that. So what I figured was, as I go through the year, I'll print them off and put them up. And if at the end of the year I have like a collection that I like, about, I don't know, 30 to 50 pictures or something, then maybe I'll put it together.
What's a zine though?
A zine is like a independently published magazine. It's like low
Oh, okay.
budget. Usually they're getting really fancy now, but they used to be really low budget. Like people would literally just like draw them by hand.
Oh,
Do you remember Higher Ground?
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
used to go
yeah.
to Higher Ground all the time, right? They
Yeah.
used to sell zines like that. That's the sort of crowd that would buy zines.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
like that independent, like
So would you like sell it to a coffee shop, for example?
no,
Or you
I'll
sell it
probably
at the coffee shop?
no. I'd probably just put it on my website and be like, if you want it, here's a copy. I'll run one off for you. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I,
I think it's an interesting idea, and I think it's like an activity to work towards.
I I feel like I have a lot on the go though.
I'm pretty sure we ended last year's like discussions with how do we not put so much stuff and like narrow in and like
Yeah,
not put so much pressure on ourselves. So I
yeah.
was actually going to ask you that because I think it's interesting that this year you've kind of created a fairly, I don't know if rigid is the right word, but a fairly rigid routine for yourself or a schedule. It sounds like at least.
So I don't know. A couple of years back, I tried this as well, and I tried to like schedule my day, right? So like,
Mhm,
here's the work day. Here's when you eat dinner. Here's when you like do your
mhm.
morning routine. Here's when you like go to bed and read and stuff like that. And it didn't work. It didn't work. It was a huge flop. And then this year, there's been a few days. Like today is probably day number 3 of the year that I tried this, and it's not going well. It's not working. But I think the process of actually like looking at the calendar and saying, okay, you have this many hours and you have to do this many tasks. Like, where can you fit everything in? And then
Mm,
as things change, I've just been like rearranging the schedule. And I don't know if it's going to work long term, but I think especially now that I'm working from home, and I've been working from home since, well, for the last 2 weeks,
mhm.
it's especially important that I have it because I don't have those bells going off every, 50 minutes or whatever it is to remind me that, oh wait, it's time to like you got to move on now. And like, yeah. And you know me, I'm like I'm driven by inertia. So if nothing's happening, nothing is happening.
I actually did something that maybe would be helpful is I sat down and I created a Monday to Friday calendar, like, um
Okay.
um, maybe I have it somewhere, but it's like just basically a Monday block, a Tuesday block, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday blocks, and in
Okay.
it is not necessarily a timeline of when things have to happen, but what tasks have to happen each day. So for example, on Mondays, I know I have to mark my students connect the dot assignments. And so
Okay.
it's just like a checklist, or Tuesdays I know I teach and then I have a course in the evening. And
Yeah.
so in the middle I want to write like a journal post, right? So it's just like it's more of a checklist of what needs to happen on each day versus a timed out like a daily schedule.
So it's somewhere in between like a to-do list and a calendar.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's sort of a mashup of the two.
Yeah.
How do you find it?
Well, the reason I can't find it is I think I threw it in the garbage this morning.
That's where it belongs. That's probably where it belongs.
Because
Yeah, it's useless.
I was like, well, I know I have to get all this shit done. I don't need a reminder to get this shit done. So I'm just not gonna remind myself. And if it gets done, great. If it doesn't get done, well, that's too bad. And so I think I threw it in the garbage. But I spent a good probably 20 minutes creating it. So I don't know.
Did you create it this morning and then throw it out this morning as well?
No, I created it last week
Okay.
and then threw it out this morning when I was cleaning up my desk and such. And then I should have actually, what I should have done was Sundays should have been clean desk for
Yeah.
Monday, but instead I just threw everything out. Was like, I'll just start fresh tomorrow.
Which is, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because you don't need that in your life. You don't need somebody telling you what to do. No,
I
you're
don't need
your
a
own
piece of
woman.
paper with colors on it
Yeah, it's just words.
directing
It's
my
really
life.
just words.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and then we have like work calendars and we have volunteer based calendars, and there's already so many calendars. I just didn't
Yeah.
want an extra calendar.
There's a lot. There's a lot. And I find it especially it's more now because like you have to remember so many different things. It's not like you just have to go to like a meeting room. You have to go to a specific link that was, somewhere that was sent 3 days ago in your email. And like, I don't know. And you type in Zoom into your email and you're like, which one is it? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just too many.
Yeah. It's just too many. And yeah, even like, because you don't do this so much, but I have to schedule for my students as well, right? Like I have to be like, okay, for this 15-minute period, we're doing this. For this 15 minutes is your break. This is your lunch. This is and like, oh man, I tried to plan out the week today, and I did maybe 3/4 of it, and I was like, I don't even know how to fill the time.
It's funny though, because like I sat on full session meetings today for one of my volunteer projects that I do.
Okay.
And we started at 8 a.m. and ended at 4 p.m. And I think we had 3 15-minute or 3 10-minute breaks. And so I just had my headphones on and like my wireless ones, and then I'd kind of need to stretch. So I'd go outside and like come back in and stuff. But it was such a long day. And even in those meetings, I think because we're online, we're not scheduling in the same 1 hour lunch or so
Yeah.
on and so forth that we normally would if we were like in an in-person meeting,
Right.
because it's just assumed that people are getting up and going to the bathroom and grabbing a bite to eat and refilling their coffee as needed. But I think the challenge with that is that sometimes people worry that like if I turn off my camera and I leave, then
Yeah.
how is that interpreted? And I've been really cautious about that when I'm teaching, because I switched over to a platform where I can see all of the students' videos at the same time versus just the one that's speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and then I was like, okay, this is nice because it feels more like a classroom. But
Yeah.
then I always kind of have to remind students, like, I prefer your camera on, but because it's an adult learning space, it's kind
Yeah.
of like, I prefer it on, but if you don't want it on, like, I can't really mandate it kind of idea.
We can't do it either. And
I think we
and
talked about this a bit last week, right?
maybe I forget what
Or
happened.
maybe post video. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it's fair to keep you at your computer for what is that, 8 hours, 8.5 hours with 45 minutes of break total. That's not right. Like if you're gonna plan a day, like you have to plan a day as you would like a meeting, like if you were in person. And they should probably send you like a gift card for a delivery of food or something too.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like it was a fruitful conversation, so it's not a huge deal, but I think it's, yeah, it takes long. And I also think that it's really different when you think about work-based context and then volunteer-based context where
Yeah.
there's already this idea that people are giving their time, and so let's just make a really full day of it
Yeah.
versus let's kind of split it up. There's always work to do, but I don't know. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but I just think that that was really interesting. And so, and I found for me, as soon as I turned off my camera. I just never turned it back on, because then it's more difficult to, in my head, it was more difficult to turn it on and off, because
Okay.
then there's a clear cut, like, I am now leaving or I'm now
Right.
stepping away, versus if it's off the whole time,
Yeah.
you don't know what moments I'm stepping away from it, what moments I'm on or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a real fatigue with this too, right? Like being this focused on the screen. Like right now, I'm not looking at my camera like I should be, so that it looks like I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you on the screen.
Yeah.
But but
And then imagine like 30 students. And
yeah,
so you're trying to look at all 30 boxes.
yeah, and oh man, it's
Um, yeah, oh, go ahead.
no, it's just it's intense because it feels like what do you like? How do you do? Like how do you say? It's like the Truman Show, everybody's watching all the time. The camera's always on, and you're like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just need to get up and go pee or something.
Yeah, we're all so surveillanced,
Yeah, that's what it makes feel like, right? It's like,
and in your own homes,
yeah,
in the space where you're usually like allowed to hide behind the doors, kind of
yeah.
idea.
Nobody's allowed in my space normally. You know me. I don't like people over.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not like just pop in and have a beer. No. You have to schedule that 3-4 weeks in advance and then confirm on the day of.
Yeah, because I might bail. No, it's been interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, but have you been able to schedule your personal life then into, because that's one of my big things. And this week, like I started my Mr. G Tutors podcast again. And
Mhm,
one of my big things, like this week I talked about, you know, ensuring that I have time for myself built into my day, that it's
mhm,
not something I neglect, because I think um
mhm.
it's too easy to just sit at your computer and do work all day. It's way too easy.
Yeah. I've realized that I've become pretty good actually at turning off work by
Okay.
about 4:30.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm on work from about, I would say, 9 a.m. to 4:30 usually, and then I've been really quite diligent about taking a lunch break.
Nice.
And so either like I'll ride my new spin bike, or
Yeah.
I'll just sit in front of the TV, which is also not helpful to just move to a different screen, but it's a break kind of.
Yeah. And it's
And
a different
then
screen.
Friday, I even went to the office, and then I realized at like 4:20, I was like, no, I'm almost done. Got to get like pack up, and because I really got into the groove, because I feel like I was in a different space and there was a little bit of different energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was really clear. What I'm struggling with is like all the volunteer work I want to do
Yeah.
and all the extracurriculars. So things like I don't know if you remember last semester I took a course,
Yes, yes.
and I still have assignments that I am supposed to submit for that. And so filling that stuff out, or like I'm taking a new course on anti-racism within the Smiley community on
Cool.
Tuesday nights. And it started this past week, and it's actually a really cool course. But
Yeah.
again, it's another 2 hours in front of a screen doing something
Right.
very similar to what I do for work. So
Okay.
it is in a essence personal, but
Okay.
it's also still screen time, and it's still
Work.
work-ish, like, I'm always trying to connect it to work and all of that, so I guess that's where I'm maybe struggling to schedule the personal stuff, but on the nights that I don't have pre-scheduled volunteer work or that class, then I've been really good at, like, 4:30, it shuts down, and then, yeah.
That's amazing. Good for you, because like
But
you
then
have to
today,
keep
right?
that rigid. Sorry?
But then it's like a week like last week where it didn't feel like it ever ended, and then it started up again today, so then it's an extra day in the week, so
Yeah.
oh, sorry I cut you off, but yeah.
No, and I think that's my struggle too, is like there's always more work to do. So if I set a limit on my day, then I feel like I didn't accomplish all that I needed to during the day.
Yeah.
But I think too that like everybody needs to realize that everybody, it's a pandemic.
Well,
Like,
it's interesting, just, like, as a last thought, I guess, I was flipping through some articles, and I came across one this week where, um, the screen time fatigue is getting so bad that by the end of the day, people are actually feeling physically sick, like nauseous and upset stomach, and they're saying that it's coming from too much screen time.
last week, like right here, there was just this unbelievable pain that I could not get rid of.
Yeah,
Is that it? That must be
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Because
Because there
then,
was a couple nights in a row where I was so nauseous and I was
yeah,
so confused about it,
yeah,
and then I was like, "What is happening?"
like it's just like the energy is just like, woof.
Yeah. So, I bought a happy light. I don't know I don't know. I'm
I
gonna give it
do.
a go. It's been on. It says that it helps reset your sleep pattern and everything, so, I don't know. I don't see the sun. My office doesn't get any sunlight, either does my
You
office at work, so I guess I'll just pack it in my backpack every time I go. It's pretty small. It's about the size of our iPad, so
That's perfect.
yeah, so I'll give you an update. They say 2 to 4 days you'll see the effect. I'm just reading the box. Yeah.
2 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay, that I guess that's I mean that's reasonable.
So I'll let you know next
Next week,
week. Yeah,
update me.
yeah.
Right on.
Cool. Okay,
All
well,
right.
you're good otherwise?
Yeah, and you?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, love
love
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.